Las Vegas, when Manny Pacquiao faced Jeff Horn in Australia on July 2 in Brisbane, Australia in the main event of a card that aired live on ESPN. It was Pacquiao's first non-pay-per-view fight since 2005. It was only the beginning for major fights regularly airing on ESPN. 4 months before that card, and through late last week, Top Rank and the network were hammering out a complicated deal that will bring Top Rank's fights exclusively to ESPN platforms for years to come under a minimum 4-year deal. The deal could include a Pacquiao-Horn rematch on November 11, which is still being finalized. The deal, long rumored and finally signed last week, was formally announced on Saturday at a news conference at the Wynn Las Vegas, and makes ESPN a major player in boxing for the first time in its history. ESPN termed the agreement a vast and exclusive, multimedia agreement to make ESPN the home of top-rank boxing in the US and Canada. Under the deal, ESPN will televise live top-rank promoted fights on ESPN and ESPN Deportes and stream them on the ESPN app. It will also stream fights and other top-rank content on the recently announced ESPN direct-to-consumer streaming service via BAMTech and deliver pay-per-view events. In addition, all top-rank content will air in English and in French on Canadian sister networks TSN and RDS. It is also possible that some cards could air on ESPN's sister network ABC. While the agreement was being finalized, Top Rank and ESPN put on the Pacquiao card and also moved forward with 2 cards in August, one headlined by junior lightweight title holder Vasily Lomachenko's 7th-round knockout of Miguel Marija on August 5 and Terence Crawford's 3rd-round destruction of Julius Ndongo to become the undisputed junior welterweight world champion on August 19. Now more high-level cards are on the way with a total of 18 on tap for the first year of the deal. The next up will be a world title doubleheader from Tucson, Arizona on Sept. 22, on which featherweight titleist Oscar Valdez will defend his belt against Genesis Savania and super middleweight titleist Gilberto Zurda Ramirez will defend against Jesse Hart. There are at least 3 more cards scheduled for the rest of the year after Jesse Magdaleno will defend his junior featherweight title against mandatory challenger Cesar Juarez on October 31 in Las Vegas, with Artur Beterbiev facing Enrico Colling in a light heavyweight world title elimination bout in the co-feature. Horn will defend the welterweight world title he controversially won by decision from Pacquiao in a rematch that is being finalized for November 11 in Australia. Lomachenko will make his next defense, likely against junior featherweight title holder and fellow 2-time Olympic gold medalist Guillermo Rigondeaux, who would move up in weight, on December 9 at the theater at Madison Square Garden in New York. Top Rank, which helped launch ESPN with its Top Rank boxing series that ran from 1980 to 1996, is coming back to its roots and will no longer have its stable of fighters appearing on HBO, where it had put on virtually all of its major fights for decades. Top Rank also axed its Unimas series Solo Boxeo in preparation for the move to ESPN. ESPN, which has rarely televised the highest level boxing events, now will have them on a regular basis. ESPN is thrilled to announce this new relationship with Top Rank, the most comprehensive and innovative media agreement in the history of the sport, said Burke Magnus, ESPN Executive Vice President of Programming and Scheduling. We believe in a new vision for boxing that will superserve existing boxing fans and create legions of new fans through world-class boxing content across multiple ESPN platforms, 365 days a year. Together, ESPN and Top Rank will build the superstars of tomorrow through unrivaled exposure, original content and cutting-edge technology. The 18 events in the first year of the deal will be showcased in the US. On multiple platforms, including television networks, the ESPN app, the direct-to-consumer service and pay-per-view events, in both English and Spanish, and Ontario Canada STSN in English and RDS in French. Top Rank boxing content will include all undercard bouts, select non-televised main events, re-airs of all ESPN events and pay-per-views, as well as fights from Top Rank's massive library. Top Rank President Todd Duboff, the stepson of Top Rank Chairman Bob Arum, spearheaded the deal and worked closely with ESPN President John Skipper and Magnus on the deal. They shook hands on the deal in mid-July, but it took time to finalize a roughly 75-page contract. Dubofs has long sought to have boxing and shoulder programming available to a wider audience and wanted to work with a broadcast partner that was also invested in the sport. While Dubov believes that premium cable networks such as HBO and Showtime have done a great job with boxing for decades, their limited availability stunted the public's access to the sport.